Hi, happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for making it spoken by Abby once more. I am Abby or Abina, yours truly. And today I am going to talk about a really serious topic, suicide. And the title of my poem and of my dialogue would be Wandering Thoughts. Because as we know, persons who struggle with anxiety disorders and mental health issues. Basically, their thoughts are wandering. They're not stable in their thoughts. They can't come up with solutions as persons who don't have the same issues as they do. And it's been something that has been placed on my heart by the Lord. I believe it just came to me that I need to talk about it, encourage someone who might be going through it right now. Over the last year and a half, it's been really stressful. A lot of things has happened. Persons lost job, lost loved ones, to even coronavirus. Um, Families has been disrupted, abuse of children. As I've had my video the last 2 weeks ago about children and talking about the family and community and henceforth. A lot of things seem to have been going downhill. And I can imagine and appreciate the feelings of certain persons who think that, you know, life is not worth going on because everything is just crumbling left, right, and center. But I'm here today to encourage someone that as long as there's life, there's hope, and we just have to push on, hold on a little longer, and the rainbow, we'll see the rainbow, we'll see the light at the end of the rainbow. So as I go into this that monologue or dialogue, I would like to share with you one of my original pieces, just expressing what I believe would be the mindset of someone who would be considering suicide. I've never had, mind you, I've never had the thought of suicide. I'm grateful that, whether or not Christian, I'm grateful that at least, I have the strength to know that tomorrow will be better. I've cried for certain situations. I've been in distress as well. But with faith in God, I have been able to overcome my issues. And I'd also, at the end of the video, like to introduce someone or encourage someone to take Jesus or God as the health of their countenance. As I will share a scripture shortly that David penned when he was going through his struggles with his enemies and being depressed and his soul being cast down. So here are the words of the poem that I'd like to share. So, trapped in my head, can't escape, and I feel like there is no hope. I've tried to hold on to the last straw, but it seems to be slipping away. Each time a glimpse of hope shines through, it is trailed by dark clouds. Can't seem to escape the mess in my mind. What do I do now? Should I end it and experience eternal peace? Or will it be eternal sorrow to end it, not knowing how much better it could be? Yes, so I imagine while writing this poem, I imagine someone weighing in on two decisions. Should I just take my life and make it easier on myself and everyone concerned? I won't have to worry about it anymore because I won't be on this side of life. mind you, even though they don't know what it's like just being dead and being in the spiritual realm. There's so many things unknown about that. But just to escape this one situation, and then the positive side of it, they're wondering, should I stick it out a little longer? Will it be sorrow instead of peace to take my life and not know how much better it could be? Yes, so I believe someone would have been thinking these thoughts. Even that lady, who I think over a month ago she drove herself into that river, and just took her life. I don't know what she might have been going through. The news didn't let us know, but regardless of that, this woman didn't feel like, probably didn't feel like she had enough support around her, and so she just said it was better to take her life. But today I want to tell someone, no, it is not. It's not better to take your life. Where there's life, there's hope. And as long as God is still lending you his breath, there is still a purpose for you. And trust that he reigns on the just and the just and the unjust. Not that, we're supposed to take his mercy for granted and continue living, and seeing him blessing us every day, and we don't appreciate him by giving our life to him. But as long as you're alive, you still have purpose. And I want someone to be reminded of that today. And, just to take you back to Psalm 42, verse 8 and 11. When David was in such a distress, he said, yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. Why art thou cast down, O my soul, and why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God. Yes, so just as David acknowledged that God is the health of his countenance, we must also do the same. David experienced some warring in his spirit and in his soul. And trust me, it's not easy when you're going through a battlefield of the mind and in the field of indecision. But David here prayed, and I'm sure a lot of persons who they're not really Christians, I'm sure that they have, or you have found solace in just bringing a word of prayer, even though you don't, you cannot imagine, you don't have the understanding like a person who is actually, committed to God. You don't have that knowledge of the furthest extent what God can do for you, and you prayed and he did it, and he's still doing it, and you got a relief of that problem. So just the same when, the bank coming back for your house and your car, and you feel so ashamed, like everyone is gonna laugh at you, your husband leave you, your wife leave you, your children disgrace you, something happened that seems like, oh my God, I can't live this down. No, that is not true. We can live down anything, and nothing is new under the sun. Whatever is happening now, it happened to other persons, and they lived it down. And remember, a lot of persons say time heals, and that is somewhat correct. Sometimes though we live with the shame within ourselves, but time does heal a bit, and once you're at a better place, you can look back and say, I went through this, but this was for my betterment. It caused you to grow as an individual, as a man, as a woman, as a girl, and a boy. So we must take our problems, and I would like to encourage someone to take your problem as a stepping stone to get better, to be stronger. Because in this world, in this life, we're not gonna survive if we are weaklings in our minds. We have to strengthen our minds and feed our minds with positive things. Yes. All right, so as we're talking about that, some persons, I believe, they're not even aware that they're on the verge of considering suicide. But I'd like to point out a few symptoms here that we should all be looking out for, so that if we see them in ourselves or in our family members or persons that we deal with, we can nip it in the bud right away and take action to assist. So someone, having excessive guilt or shame, you're expressing guilt and shame, always looking sad, and persons who have panic attacks, that's one sign. Isolating yourself, I think this is the most pronounced one. Someone who is always by themselves, that is different from wanting your space. But someone who's always by themselves, they don't talk to people, they may be at risk of having suicidal thoughts. And also, if we see where persons have a feeling or appear to feel trapped or hopeless, and we know this is brought out by expressions of thoughts and so forth, so we can look out for that. And also persons engaging in risky behavior like taking drugs, being promiscuous, and all these things. So as persons who notice these things, whether in yourself or others around us, this is what we can do. As I had said, in the Psalm, what David did, he prayed to God, he cried out to God, and God was his help. Introduce someone to God, because sometimes God uses our situation, bring us down on our knees, just so that we can come back to him. Because remember, if you did not know, God created us for his own purpose and his own will. But when sin came into the picture, everything got perverted and we started to do our own thing. So that is why there are sorrows everywhere, and it seems so hopeless in this world. But introduce someone to God. Don't keep God to yourself. Don't keep the goodness of God to yourself and say, oh, I'm blessed. Let's say you're a Christian, I'm blessed, I'm a Christian. I have my house, car, land, or my job, and I'm secure and whatever. Don't keep it to yourself. If you see a co-worker there struggling in their corner, just, you don't have to ask them their business if you notice. And in fact, if you're led by the Spirit, you will know how to operate around persons like these. And even if you are not a Christian, we are all connected somehow as humans, so we can really sense certain things. So, and if you know where somewhere in your life you had prayed to God or reached out to God and helped you, you can really encourage that person. Introduce them to support groups. It's always good to have support groups. There are a lot of support groups, even in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They have different contacts and different groups that if you call their hotline or get in touch with them by email, they can direct it to the right path. Or you can reach out to someone at your health clinic, health and nurses and so forth. Just reach out to get professional help if you need to. Getting professional help may be somewhat expensive, but then again, as I said, you can visit your clinics, and there's a lot of websites where you can read up on what to do to help these symptoms. But it's very important to get professional help. And last but not least, be a good listener to someone, or be a friend to someone. A lot of times, if there was someone there to encourage them and give them moment of happiness, smile or wave at them, just an expression of kindness can really cheer someone's spirit. And if they were in the moment of thinking about committing suicide or so, they would change their mind, knowing that, humanity is not so evil. Humanity is still good. So that is what I wanted to share this evening in regards to suicide. And I really pray that, God will touch and heal and deliver all the persons struggling right now, and that He will help us who are not struggling to really be vigilant and support these persons. Don't bypass persons on the road, the persons who are homeless and so forth. If you can buy a lunch or food for someone, because who knows what got them in that situation in the first place. But by just displaying kindness to these persons, maybe at that point, they can begin to, their mind can begin to get back at the right place and regain their mental stability and be normal again. So, let us just live like the Lord will have us live, and love each other, and just pray for each other. Even if you don't know how to pray a long prayer, it's not about long prayer. Intercede for someone, because prayer is the best thing. Hand in hand with actually doing the work, prayer is very good and very effective. So, God bless you, everyone. I'll leave the link to the Ministry of Health and Wellness site, the website, and email, just in case anyone watching this video and you have thoughts of suicide, or you're oppressed or depressed and you want to reach out for professional help, medical help. I leave the link so you can contact those persons. Thank you for making it spoken by Abby. Looking forward to seeing you on another video. God bless you and have a great weekend now. Take care.